up-and-coming comedy star. Good evening. The tornado that touched down in central Alberta flattened several homes, tossed heavy farm equipment around, and led to the death of some livestock. Luckily, there was no human loss of life or serious injuries. This is new time-lapse video from Carstairs of that twister north of Calgary. Environment Canada says it lingered on the ground for at least 20 minutes, pulverizing some things along the way, but leaving other things mostly untouched. And after ripping apart lives, it brought the community together to share the pain. CTV's Alberta Bureau Chief Bill Fortier with a ground-level look at the aftermath.
Across this debris-strewn field, around 100 people clean up what nature scattered, some with machinery, others with bare hands. Many of them don't even know the people they're helping.
Humanity needs to come together and be strong and help each other out.
Well, I think it really restores your faith in people.
Elisa Humphreys lost everything, including one of her horses and 2 homes on the property, now a pile of shredded wood and twisted metal.
And I actually think that something good will come of this, even though I no longer have anything at all.
Oh, that poor farmer.
Yesterday's devastating tornado ripped across several kilometers of central Alberta.
The tornado is happening right now, and it's coming towards us.
On the ground for 25 minutes or more.
I've never seen anything like it.
And leaving devastation in its wake. Livestock killed, around 20 homes damaged or destroyed, heavy farm machinery flipped and tossed across the highway.
I've seen tornado hits before in my 20-some-year career, but unfortunately this is the worst devastating one I have personally been on.
You could drive by here, most days, and you see the big trees and the farms and stuff, and now it's just destroyed.
Officials say nobody was killed or even seriously injured, but it was close. One woman was trapped in the basement of what's now unrecognizable as a house. Using her cell phone, she managed to get in touch with rescuers, including a family member, who were frantically looking for her in the wreckage.
And so then they changed where they were at and just started digging through the rubble and were able to find her.
A team from Environment Canada and the Northern Tornadoes Project is now investigating what already seems to be one of the worst tornadoes in the region in recent memory.
Clearly you can see there's a significant amount of damage, and it's going to take a bit of time to go through it all.
Even with all this help, it will take several days at least to get properties like this cleaned up before owners can even start to think about rebuilding. Meanwhile, investigators hope to have a better sense of the sheer size and strength of that twister in the coming days. Bill Fortier, CTV News, near Carstairs, Alberta.
Police are searching for 2 people swept away in a landslide north of Quebec City. 2 men and a woman were helping clear debris from the road after Saturday's severe thunderstorm dropped more than 125 millimeters of rain in that area. A sudden river surge triggered a landslide. 1 man was rescued, taken to hospital. About 100 campers nearby had to be rescued by helicopter. A local state of emergency is in place. Esther Wang was out of touch for a full 54 hours. The teenager vanished in the BC wilderness last week. Today, she's sharing details of her terrifying time and recounting how survival skills saved her. In a letter, the 16-year-old revealed she was separated from her group after she turned the wrong way and ended up on the wrong path. She was lost in the woods for more than 2 days, saying she was scared and lonely. Esther emerged from Golden Ears Provincial Park Thursday using pictures on her digital camera to retrace her steps. Business leaders are calling on the federal government to step in. While throwing the party's always fun, it's the cleanup afterwards that isn't. A citywide straightening up was on order in Ottawa today. The nation's capital hosts thousands over the long weekend for Canada Day events. CTV's Natalie Van Roy reports.
A day after tens of thousands of people packed into LeBreton Flats to party on Canada's birthday, the teardown and cleanup of the site now underway.
Bulk of the cleanup actually happens the same night. So our staff worked very hard last night to really focus on cleaning up the debris and litter, as well as any security measures that we support putting in for our federal partners.
Crews working around the clock to make it look like the thousands who reveled in the day never left a trace. Trash bags full, recycling packed up, and picnic tables stacked. Trucks loading up as the countdown is on for another major event here in only days, Blues Fest.
I don't think we saw as many people at the end of the night as we have in previous years, and I think part of that was due to the weather. But we did still have our staff really focusing on our garbage and recycling collection.
The cleanup right across the city.
It was a big party yesterday, so it's a very clean city. Coming from Montreal, also we can see it's a bit clearer than Montreal, so yeah.
Ottawa still buzzing with tourists ready to take in more of the sights and sounds of the long weekend.
We've been doing the monuments and we've been looking at Parliament, so we've been visiting all the different places. It's been fun.
Coming to Ottawa, it feels like, okay, the real charm of Canada we can see here, being in capital city of Canada.
Officials say the cost of the cleanup not yet clear, but it's usually in the range of $100,000 plus. Natalie Van Roy, CTV News, Ottawa.
We leave you tonight with an inspirational lesson about seeing the lighter side of life. A man with autism discovered his natural gift by channeling his energy into making people laugh. His obvious talent in stand-up has made him stand out on the national stage. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
As the camera captures Curran Dobbs from behind,
"You're behind me 100%.
he feels compelled to comment.
You got my back."
And if we go back to the beginning of his story,
Well, I've always been a bit of a punster.
but while he was always smiling in pictures as a child, Curran says he was feeling depressed and worthless by his early teens.
It was very lonely. I had a hard time making friends at all.
Curran found some comfort in music before learning strategies to connect with others after being diagnosed with autism. But nothing compared to being cast in a high school production playing a comedic role.
That was amazing, getting the laughs.
Curran discovered he could befriend kids through laughter and eventually asked a local promoter about doing amateur stand-up.
He said, "Sure, I'll put you on my show. It's in 5 days. Write a set."
Curran was terrified. He'd never actually written a joke before, but he found that the process of planning out an interaction with the public was reassuring and faced his fear.
Good evening, ladies.
Curran got a few laughs that first night, and now, after more than a decade of doing stand-up professionally, has earned countless more.
I'm on the autistic spectrum, so if I seem rude or impolite, or if I'm not making eye contact, I just want you to know it's because I really feel like you're not worth the effort.
You hear the laughter. Value, talent.
Well, after earning national attention for making it to the semifinals on Canada's Got Talent,
every joke worked, every line worked.
Curran now considers his autism and the unique perspective of the world it offers to be a comedic superpower.
There's a bit of a cost, but then there's also that gift that comes with it.
Which is why, if he could go back in time and comfort his younger self, he'd say, never give up.
You're better than you think you are, or if you ain't yet, you will be.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
That's a wrap on your long weekend Sunday. I'm Morella Fernandez for Sandy Ronaldo and all of us here at CTV National News. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you again tomorrow.